That's what I came here for. Roast leg of lamb.
Bus 303, here it comes. That's alright. Shortly after checking in at Sheraton Hohat, it was close to dinner time. We took the metro from the airport, so we opted for the bus here to see more of the cityscape. And it was actually more convenient as it stops next to our destination. Many public transports in Chinese cities, including subways and buses, have digitized their fare payment system on the Alipay and WeChat apps, along with functions like schedule and route, making it easy for visitors from out of town to get around town. This town is Huhehaute Hohat, capital of Inner Mongolia. It's proud of its nomadic history, and the restaurant Mongol Daing is very much an embodiment of this history.
We're here in Hohat at the Mongol Daing, a race course. We're gonna have our first meal here.
Mongol Daing literally means the Great Mongol Camp, and Mongol Cavalry welcomed us. These yurts are all private dining rooms, and behind a row of low buildings is the racetrack. The tall structure in the background is the main stand, and in the foreground, the Mongol Daing restaurant. It is a fairly big complex of interconnected halls. Some dining rooms even have their own performance stages. There's an indoor shrine area that pays tribute to the Mongol Khans. There's Kublai Khan, founder of Yurt dynasty, and then the granddaddy of them all, Genghis Khan, who was the granddad of Kublai Khan. There's also an altar outside for the Great Khan, and next to it, workshop for Kao Chuanyang, whole roasted lamb. Guess that's where some of the magic happens. That's a saddle, a symbol of nomadic culture. And finally, the Great Mongol Camp. The two-story building is gigantic, and the stage is huge. There are nightly performances at 8, which we missed, but the band played for a while as we ate. I spliced together some sounds from other clips for this clip so you can imagine what the show might have been like inside this theater/restaurant. The music was awesome and created an immersive atmosphere. But after all, it is a restaurant and we did come here for the food, so on we go!
So we got a Mongolian dairy set over here. We got some dried grains, fried dough sticks, shuannai yogurt, and then different kinds of cheeses and milk curds. And then we got cured beef. And over here, Mongolian onion. It's called Monggujiu or shachong in Chinese. It's in the same family as shallots and chives and things like that. So it should be very interesting.
Interesting indeed, but one at a time. First off, please pardon my ignorance. The liquid wasn't yogurt but baiyou, literally white oil, a kind of cream which can be used as a dip for fried dough sticks or eaten with a pinch of this dried grain, which was proto millet that has been steamed and parched. The various milk curds offered various tastes and textures. This mooncake-like cheese was sweet and had grains of sugar. The nai milk skin was the softest. This is called nai doufu, shown on the menu as dried milk cake. It was pretty dry and crumbly, and had a tinge of sourness reminiscent of fermentation. We've had cheese platters before, but this was a different beast. And the other cold dish was 草原野沙葱, wild Mongolian onion of the prairie. I've doubted whether these are wild, because I heard that this plant is crucial to oasification and harvesting wild shachong is outlawed. Well, we've never had it before, so we couldn't tell anyway. It was served much like a salad, and the dressing was garlic oil, so the orange cordyceps fungi had a pungent taste as well, but the raw and crispy Mongolian onion had an even stronger kick, which was why it paired nicely with the leg of lamb.
That's what I came here for. Roast leg of lamb. It tastes great, and it's Mongolian lamb tastes so good. Supposedly one reason is because it feeds on this.
Maybe this sheep did feed on Mongolian onion because the meat was marvelous. The local driver for next day's journey to the volcanoes said that the best lamb he has had were those from Silingo Lead, because Mongolian onion grows abundantly on the Silingo prairie there. The restaurant menu does claim that Silingo lamb is used. Truth or not, I can't say for sure, but I can say that the lamb was out of this world. Seasoning was minimal, just enough to wake up the lamb, like gentle sunshine on the grassland. Then just believe in the kindness of Mother Nature. There was just a tad of the pastoral flavor. It was as thin as a blade of grass to remind you that this is lamb. 2 condiments were available, but unnecessary and unused. The leg came sliced. These sandwiches of skin, meat, and fat were sensational, but there were also lean muscles, thick pieces of skin that would crack and crumble like cookies, tendons still attached to bones, and crunchy cartilages. So something for everyone. Right about now, the band's performance reaches its climax. I'll let you enjoy this symphony of sizzling lamb fat and stirring ethnic music. It felt like we just returned from a massive victory on the battlefield and were treated by the Khan to a scrumptious feast of meat and music. What a defining experience. Speaking of the Khan, after the meal we strolled north to the Genghis Khan Square, and being a public square in China, there has to be some Guangchang Wudama, the square dancing grannies. Actually, we went to the plaza for the nearby metro station, but then decided to ride back to the hotel on shared moped instead.
So after our meal at Mongol Daing, we went to the Chengji Sihan Guangchang Genghis Khan Plaza, and now I'm gonna ride this shared moped back to a hotel. But I'm dressed in all blue, and the moped is blue. I feel like I work for Olamo.
Like this guy, or this guy, or this guy.
And the Olamo delivery guy has arrived.
In most Chinese cities, shared bicycles are everywhere, but shared mopeds on this scale, we haven't seen before. They ended up being one of our main modes of transport in the next few days. You'll see. 再见.